Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. Very happy to welcome Angela Palamba from First Tee. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Susie. Thank you for having me.
You know, golf seemed to be one of the first sports that we were allowed to start playing again. Tell me a little bit about that and your reaction and your hopefulness for all of it.
Sure. It's for us, we were a little later than a typical golf course has been with dealing with the response, since we're working with kids and doing group programs. So for us, we were maybe a little, I don't want to say delayed, but we were waiting until we got the go-ahead from the local government and following procedures that needed to take place. But I think as a whole, for the golf community, I think it's a great thing. I think it allows people the opportunity to still be active and doing so without being stuck in their house. And golf just brings a lot of, I think peace. But some people may not say that they're golfers. They might.
It brings both.
Yeah, it does a lot for your well-being, and I think just being outside and dealing with all the stress that's been happening, it gives you an opportunity just for a good release. And I think that was a positive or silver lining to everything that's been going on.
Yeah. Well, walking was always recommended. So You can walk. Why not walk a golf course and, improve your game a little bit at the same time? But what you do is very special. And for someone who might not be familiar with First Tee, tell us a little bit about your particular mission.
Sure. So we are a youth development organization, and we focus on working with kids to teach them important life skills and valuable goal setting and how to make healthy choices. But they do all those things while they're learning the game of golf. The golf part of what we do is a tool that helps the kids understand and basically make it real with these values. So, for instance, honesty is one of our core values that we teach the kids. So they are learning what that means while they're on the golf course. Did you mean to swing, or was that a practice swing? So they understand the importance of what that means and being accountable, and again, integrity, another value. And what does integrity really mean? So the kids can really put those out into action, and with our coaches and mentors working with the kids, they really are able to emphasize experiencing those values in real life on the golf course. And then we work to teach them, how do you transfer that outside of here? How do you do that at home, at school, in the community?
Let's dig a little bit deeper there, because I know that is specifically the reason my husband spent so much time with our boys out on the golf course, that he was teaching life skills while they were learning golf. Let's dig down a little bit deeper. What does that look like in a golf game? For instance, honesty and integrity when you're out there doing an individual sport like that.
Sure. So golf has, it is one of the only sports that you are required to call a penalty on yourself. There are officials when you're playing in tournaments, but they're mostly there to help you interpret the rule. It's still the player. They have to make that call, that judgment call, and be accountable to themselves. And again, like you said, it's an individual sport. It can also be a team sport. But it gives young people an opportunity to learn perseverance and, again, judgment. Those are other values that we teach. Responsibility. It's as simple as being responsible for your own clubs and carrying your own bag or pulling your own bag, making sure you have the right equipment. All those little pieces mean a lot, and it's down to the kids tucking their shirts in. And we have that conversation a lot about the importance of a young person being in the class and tucking their shirt in. And that may seem simple to some people, but that goes a long way. It kind of goes along the thought process of, you want to dress for the career you want, not something that you could have. So you want to make that extra step. You want to have that pride in yourself to do those sorts of things. So golf really does that well. It's just a sport in general. We have the ability in the training through our coaches and through the First Tee Network to really teach those kids that are part of our program what that looks like. They really learn quite a bit more than just how to hold the club or, how to swing a club, those sorts of things. Those are important, but for us, it's more important that they learn to be good people.
And I love the fact that you're not all that subtle about it. You really are connecting those dots for the kids as part of the First Tee program, yes?
Definitely. I mean, in the minds of the kids, it's a seamless approach. So it's not like a hard, let's sit here and sit on the golf course and talk about what these mean. Let's talk about, it's as simple as, kids, okay, how can you show respect? I was out there watching a class, and there were some kids talking while another child was trying to tee off. So we kind of paused and said, okay, what do you think that means? What value do you think you are showing somebody if you're quiet while they're going to tee off? And one of the young men said, it's respect. You show respect. And he's 7 years old.
Wow.
And that's pretty impressive that they're catching on to those things, and that's what it's about.
Yeah. Who is this for?
It's for any child from age of 5 all the way up to 18. We don't restrict anything outside of that. They can come from anywhere. Most of the kids that are in our program are from Stark County. However, we do have kids from surrounding counties that can get to our facility. We provide scholarships if a child does not have the ability or the family doesn't have the ability to pay. And we know that things have been a lot tighter this year. We're still offering that. We've never turned a child away for the inability to pay. We provide the clubs if they need to use them while they're here. So they don't really need to spend a lot of money to participate. We can cover and provide what's necessary for them to be here. Because, again, it's more important for us that the kids have the opportunity and experience.
Yes. I know of companies that have started taking new recruits or if somebody who's interviewing to potentially work there, they've started taking them golfing because they want to see, in a way that you can't see during an interview, how does that person handle stress or disappointment or frustration? And golf will hand you all of that.
That is definitely true. One of my board members spoke to a group of high school students that we had here, and that was exactly what he talked about. How does the game of golf work in the business world? Because, again, golf can be so many different things. You can make it a career. You can work in so many different areas of the sport or of the game, but you also can use it to advance your own goals in life. And that was one thing he talked about. If you can spend 3.5 to 4.5 hours with somebody playing 18 holes, you know fairly quick if that person's going to be able to fit in your team and what kind of character they have. Because golf really does define and show what somebody's character is.
It brings it out of you.
Yes, it does.
It is an unforgiving sport.
Yes, it is. You have to experience the ups and downs.
Yes.
And if you react the same way you do with a good shot that you do for a bad shot, that says a lot about you as a person, and people can see that on the golf course. And
there's always that one good shot that brings you back for the next time. It's like makes it worth golfing again another day.
Yes, it does.
You mentioned the mentorship part of it, and that takes me back to golfing with our boys. When they were young teens, you couldn't say to a 13, 14-year-old boy who has become uncommunicative to parents, let's go take a 2, 3, 4-hour walk and you tell me everything going on in your life. But you could say, let's go play golf. And then through that process, they would just open up and talk about what's going on in their life. So that was our little parenting key for everyone. I'm guessing mentors get an opportunity to have that same kind of relationship with these kids. Talk to me about that mentorship part.
Yes, and definitely. That is one of the strengths of our program is the adults that help by giving back their time, and they are trained to work with our program, so they know, again, that it's more important for us to focus on the values and what's being taught, and then working with them to be safe out on the golf course. But they form those relationships, to get to know the kids where there is that comfort level of being able to speak. And, today, even more than any other day, it's important for a young person to know that there's an adult that cares about them.
Yeah.
And when they feel that, and young people can feel that within the first so many minutes of whether you really care about them or if you're there for an ulterior motive. And our coaches really do invest themselves by being here and commit to working with these kids. Our volunteers may love the game of golf. Some love being with the kids, and it's kind of win-win either side. But it really is nice to see the appreciation that they have for each other and the respect that goes back and forth. Because the coaches and mentors are really our leaders out there, and they have to tuck their shirts in. They have to wear their hat on straight as well. So we ask and require them to follow the same code of conduct that we have for the kids, because if they're not doing it but they're saying it, that's not going to get the message across.
Right.
So, we're always looking for additional people that are willing to volunteer and work with the kids. And again, they don't have to be the best golfers in the world. It's more important that they're willing to spend time and be involved with the kids.
You just answered my next question. How good of a golfer do you have to be able to be a coach/mentor?
Some of our volunteers have not really been big golfers at all. It does help a little bit that they can understand from a safety perspective where the kids stand. So having an idea of the game does help. However, we can still put people into play to help with other parts of the aspect of our program. I mean, we run our own facility, so we have a lot of needs from a facility standpoint. We have one individual who helps maintain and take care of the golf course. So if someone's interested and they really like outside work like that, working with mowing or just kind of facility cleanup, we can put somebody to work there. We do some events, and we have a volunteer board of directors, so they may be interested in sharing business knowledge. So we can really find a space for anybody that's interested in getting involved. And again, whether they golf or don't golf, that's not a requirement.
When you think about it, there are way worse ways to spend a day than on a golf course investing in the lives of young people.
Yeah, just like you said, just being on a golf course, I mean, it can't get any worse than that. I mean, or any better, I should say, not worse.
Exactly.
It's just, it's a calming effect.
Yeah.
And then when you're out there, I mean, these kids they're having a blast. I mean, and that's more important to us, too, that they're having fun, because then we know they'll come back. And youth sports is such a fickle area, and one of the main reasons kids quit a sport when they're young is because they don't have fun.
Yeah.
And then the second reason they quit is because of the coaching. So if they have fun and they have great coaches or, again, mentors, they're more likely to stick to an activity. And that is extremely important with young people, to feel like that they have something like the game of golf or whatever activity it might be. It might be baseball, football.
Yes.
We want kids to be active. And
find their thing and build that confidence.
Definitely.
One thing different between golf and football, though, and I hate to almost say this in Canton, Ohio. Football, love it, love football. I'm all about football. However, you're not going to be playing football when you're 80 years old. You can still be playing golf when you're 80 years old. We're talking about a lifelong sport here. Do the kids get that they're going to be able to, this is something they can do forever?
Yes, that's a good point. And you're right. Football has a lot of the same values involved that we teach here. But you're right. We have the ability to teach kids that they can do this throughout their life. They can then, when they're 20s, 30s, play with their kids and their grandkids.
Yes.
And even if there's somebody that has a physical restraint, that they are having issues with other sports, golf is still an avenue to still be active.
Yes.
And you may not be able to play tackle sports. I mean, we have kids that are in our program that have different challenges that they can't play because of one young man has brittle bone disease, so he just has no ability to play any contact sport. But he loves golf.
Oh, wow.
And he's made it his sport, and it's great to see that he still has an opportunity to do something. And that's really what I think one of the other things that sets the game apart is just anybody can play it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you look like, what your ability is. your age, your race, your gender, anything. It is really open to anybody.
Awesome. We're speaking with Angela Palamba. She is with First Tee. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community. Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Angela Palamba from First Tee. Where do you play golf?
We have our own facility in Canton. It's on 25th Street Northeast. It's between Harrisburg and Harmont Roads, right off of Route 62. But we also partner with a couple local golf courses that some of our older kids play at Skyland Pines and Arrowhead during the summer too. So we've partnered, and we also run some junior tournaments that are more competitive and focusing on teaching kids how to be in a competitive environment. And we rotate those tournaments every Monday throughout the summer. So they're, again, spread out at different golf courses throughout Stark County.
What about transportation? Some of the kids might have a difficult time getting rides places just because of their family situation. What do you recommend they do?
So that's always been a challenge, and we've debated that a lot of times. What we should do, and what we've been working on is increasing our outreach efforts to take programming to where the kids are. So
Neat.
The beauty of what we can do is we can actually run some programming where we can introduce kids to the game in a gymnasium. We can do it on a blacktop area, at a baseball field. We have equipment that's set up to be used indoors and outdoors that really can work with the kids in getting them introduced to it. And that we had a big plan in place this spring to do a lot of that and get out there in the community. But obviously that's changed.
Yeah.
So we still have that as future plans to partner. We've done after-school programs. We partner with all the YMCAs in Stark County, so they run programs that are the First Tee programs through the Ys. So that's one option. If someone is in an area that's closer to maybe the Minerva YMCA and isn't able to get to First Tee's location in Canton, they have the ability to contact the YMCA and say, hey, I know you're doing the program for First Tee. I would like to sign up. So
cool.
We again do programming where PE teachers are trained, and they deliver it through elementary school classes. That's another way of kids to be able to experience it. But we've also partnered with a lot of organizations and nonprofit that work with youth that have transported kids to our facility or have gotten grant funding to help support transportation, where we've been able to get busing to bring kids to us to actually play on the golf course. So we've come up with some creative ways to get around the transportation issue.
When you think about it, I mean, when we think golf, everybody thinks about the swing away, that you need a lot of room. But it's really the putting is the first thing to go that you need the most practice with, and that can be done anywhere. Yes?
Yep. We did a lot of that. In March, April, our coaches would put together some videos that we would share with the kids, like things they could do at home inside their house, just setting up putting distance control and how many times to do it. And, and really you can utilize the game to teach educational opportunities such as math, like counting and the scores.
Yes.
And, so we were coming up with ways that kids could still stay engaged when they were at home. But you're right. I mean, we can set up, again, in a gymnasium, putting in putting stations, and we also have some little chipping opportunities that still don't need a lot of space, but you can do it safely, and kids can still learn.
Tip a Dixie cup on its side and putt. So,
that's right.
What about equipment, though? I know a lot of folks, when they're moving or downsizing, they don't know what to do with old golf clubs. Can you use those, Angela?
We do accept donations. We actually just started accepting them again this week.
Okay.
We were kind of on hold for a couple months there, and we just started accepting. We do have more information on our website, which is firstteecanton.org, and we list on there some items that we can really use from donations. We can use more kid-sized clubs because the average age of the child that we work with is between the age of 9 and 12. So sometimes it's harder when we get a lot of adult clubs based off the size of the child. we don't have the ability to cut clubs down, and some people think that that's a possibility, but it actually makes the clubs heavier for the kids if you were to do that. And we're not set up to do that. I mean, we don't have the ability to do it. But if people have adult clubs that they want to donate, we can find a purpose for them, or find a kid that could use them that might be more of a high school age. But it's great if we can get youth-size clubs. Golf. Someone donated this week probably 5-6 sets of brand new sleeves of golf balls, and those are great.
Wow.
We can just give them to the kids.
Great.
We can do prizes, whatever. So those things are great when people are cleaning that. And we also can accept even kind of tools and outdoor type things. So it may not just be, you might have some extra drills or hammers, those kinds of things we could use too, to upkeep our facility and our maintenance, because we have that helps us save on cost of having to purchase that sort of thing. So we actually have all that listed out on our website on ways that you can help with what items we could use.
That is great. FirstTCanton.org. And I'm thinking, kids grow out of their golf clubs, and I know once the children they're done and they're adults now and using adult size, and your grandchildren have outgrown your kids' golf clubs, this is a great place to take children-size golf clubs.
Definitely, yep.
You mentioned events. Are you having any?
Well, we right now don't have anything scheduled. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our golf outing, which is our largest fundraiser of the year. It was scheduled in May. So unfortunately, that is not happening this year. I had a call with an individual earlier today about some ideas. So we're trying to come up with potentially some virtual ideas that we can get people involved with. We usually do an online auction in the kind of the November time frame. So our plan is to still do that, again, because it's another virtual event. So if we can limit in-person opportunities, I think that might help with people feeling comfortable and still supporting through an event standpoint. But we're a little slow on the events this year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's brainstorm a little bit, because if people are going out, even if you're just going out, with your small group and everybody in their own cart or whatever, it might be kind of fun to get somebody to sponsor you for a day, play a round of golf, and donate it to First Tee. What could hurt? What could hurt?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be out there. I mean, people need to golf.
You're 100% right. Yeah,
That's my feeling.
I think there's definitely some ways, because there's a lot of nonprofits that do those, walks or where you're getting sponsored for teams. So something like that would be a great opportunity for somebody. And if they wanted to challenge themselves and say, you know what, I want to play 72 holes this weekend, and if I do, I'm looking for sponsors and would love to donate that to the First Tee. That would be fantastic.
Awesome. Well, let's just get that out there. Let's get that idea out there. Folks, do that. And you can just do that on your own. We don't even have to say a day that it takes place. You can just do it on your own time, yes?
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. And you did mention the online auction, which already was online, yes?
Yes. So that was already addressing that issue.
Perfect.
So, yep, that will be coming out in early November.
Okay, early November, so we can, we'll probably talk to you again before then, but that'll be something to be watching for. In the meantime, go to FirstTCanton.org. Monetary donations?
Yes, you can donate through our website as well if you want to donate online. We also have, accept gifts of stock or securities if somebody's interested in making a larger donation. That's a way to do it. We are in the midst of expanding our golf course, and that construction had started in February with some tree removal, and we've got plans to add 2 holes to our golf course that will really impact the number of children that we can have at one time in the class. So we're really looking forward to getting that project started in August, but we still have a little ways to go. We have about $100,000 we need to complete to finish that project, but we've got a lot of support to get it moving and get it started. So we are going to be moving forward with that in August. But if anybody's interested in how they can get involved in that, I'd love to talk with them about that project that we've got going on.
Awesome. How many children are you serving now, Angela?
So typically, last year numbers. We had almost 700 kids that were attending programs just at our facility. So those were kids that were coming here for multiple weeks of classes. We did over 2,000 to 3,000 kids through outreach programs where we were out in the community going to, after-school programs. And then we reached over 40 schools, elementary schools,
Wow.
where programs are being delivered through the PE classes. So
Wow.
we're pretty ingrained in the community and trying to find all and every ways to get in contact with kids. So if anybody is listening that does run a youth program and wants to connect with us, we would love the opportunity to figure out ways that we can introduce this program to the youth that they may be working with. And we've worked with a lot of programs to do just that. We've worked with Lighthouse Ministries, JRC,
Nice.
where they've brought kids over, and we've done a lot of opportunities through our facility, but also off-site. So, but this year we are taking somewhat of a hit with the number of kids. So we'll probably be down about anywhere between 40 and 50% less than we typically
Wow.
are. And a lot of that, again, is due to not being able to run outreach programs and field trips. And we've this year have limited the number of kids per class just to help us maintain the social distancing and
Yes.
new guidelines. So that's affected the number of kids being able to register and be in classes. Our classes are full for June and July, especially with the new participants. But we're limited on, again, how many kids we can have this year. So we're looking to hopefully get back into the ability to offer bigger classes and more classes next year.
What's the youngest ones you work with?
So we work with 5- and 6-year-olds. We call them our little hackers.
Oh, is that the most fun thing you've ever seen?
They are very entertaining, and they talk about talkers. Most
Yes.
of those kids will tell you some funny stories, but they're really fairly well behaved. I mean, you're hit or miss sometimes. You think, oh, the younger kids, whew. But they really are. They want to listen, and for the most part, they have been some of the best kids we've had. They want to just have fun. And again, our coaches are so great with them. They keep them moving, keep them very interactive classes that the kids don't have a lot of opportunity to get too rambunctious. They stay pretty focused.
And hopefully they'll just grow right through it. It's firsttcanton.org. Go to the website, find all the ways that you can participate. Angela Palumbo, thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Well, thank you, Susie. Appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today.